Friday morning, of course, you call it Plus Sports and PlusTvAfrica. I say the weekend is here and rest is near. It's a Friday morning. My name is Wale Scott. Welcome on the show. We're looking at a lot of issues today. We've got Sayo Oguntoye on the phone. Of course, we're trying to dissect the issues that we have on ground today. Now, first of all, the president of Nigeria Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, says the Super Eagles will play a Grade A friendly in June, despite the postponement of the World Cup qualifiers. Now, the Eagles were initially scheduled to start the 2022 Qatar World Cup qualifying campaign in June, but had it shifted to September by CAF, following challenges by COVID-19, of course. Now, the decision leaves the international body window free for the next team, but Pinnick, in a chat with the media, confirmed the federation was working on getting top-grade friendlies for Gennett Raw's men to fill up for the postponed matches. The Eagles qualified for the African Cup of Nations, which will be taking place in Cameroon with a game to spare, an achievement Pinnick attributed to good preparations. Sayo Oguntoye, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Wale Scott.
Welcome on the show.
Glad to have me.
Now, Grade A friendlies has always been Nigeria's problems from like forever. We've had Grade A friendlies, I can count it in my fingers, but since Amaju got in, he's been able to get us some, well, largely acceptable Grade A friendlies. He got us a massive Grade A friendly with Ukraine, and that ended 1-1. He got us the full Brazilian squad. That's ended 1-2, which are Grade A friendlies by every standard. Ukrainian team coached by Andrei Shevchenko, Ukrainian legend. Now he's promising us another set of Grade A friendlies, say that he would have done something since, but for COVID-19. Do we trust Amaju Pinnick actually get us Grade A friendlies now?
Yes, we should be able to trust Amaju Melvin Pinnick, judging from his antecedents, what he has done. You mentioned earlier that we played against mighty Brazil. You know, not every country has the opportunity to play Brazil in friendly games. And not every country also, Brazil, will accept such invitations. So the fact that Melvin has been able to draw Brazil to a friendly and it was honored shows that it's a way forward for Nigeria.
Now, Amaju's body language in the last few years, after the Ukraine and Brazil friendly, hasn't shown the man is particularly, I'm sorry to say this, I might be sounding, I don't know, but the man's body language hasn't shown that he's particular about the NFF or Nigerian football for now. He's been more involved in getting himself into the football governing body, you know, going around with Gianni Infantino and not particularly taking too much interest in Nigerian football for now. He's more particular about getting positions at the highest level, the World Football Governing Body, FIFA.
Yes, I would totally want to agree with you on that, because if you look at Amaju Pinnick, he's been more of, like you said, trying to get to the international world in terms of football is concerned, and he's using Nigeria as a ladder to get there. He's a politician, you understand, so he's just trying to get the best he can get from Nigeria and from the football world. And at the end, I think Nigeria would benefit, if not much, at least a little from his exploits in the international world.
Before I go to the next thing now, I'm not a very big fan of Amaju Pinnick because I don't like him because he's not a man who listens. He doesn't show you any reason to want to actually listen to what you have to say, doesn't like to be criticized. And my fear is, what can we do to put this man on his toes and bring his attention back to Nigerian football, take it away a little from the foreign bodies, well, always with these days?
For that question, it's a little tough. A man who knows his onions, a man who is focused on, you know, becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, it's going to be a difficult ask, really. But if you ask me, I think he is a little bit better than the previous NFF presidents we've had. You know, he's miles ahead of so many candidates that has come in the past. So I think he's trying, he's doing more, but I think he can do better.
Okay, now up next, Manchester United boss Ole Gunnar Solksjaer said his players won't have no excuse for a disrupted build-up for their 4-2 defeat to Liverpool. Premier League fixture was rearranged for Thursday following violent protests at Old Trafford earlier this month, which caused the game to be postponed. Now, Solskjaer's side arrived at the stadium around 2 p.m., some 6 hours before kickoff. Now, United's defense once again came into question, with the Norwegian insisting his players will work on defending set pieces. Now, but he wasn't able to give any definite timescale for Captain Harry Maguire to return from an ankle injury with the Europa League final taking place later this month.
The preparation has been different, but we're not going to make an excuse of that. I think everyone can, or maybe not everyone, but everyone who's played at this level, at this intensity, they know the attention to detail is so important, and that's why we prepare in a certain way for every game. And we couldn't do that now, but as I said, I thought the players handled it really well, but we haven't got the result and we haven't got the performances, so it's probably affected them a little bit, but as I said, none of the players would make an excuse of it. Of course, it's disappointing result, disappointing performance, especially in periods. We did well in long spells as well, I have to say, but we didn't really capitalise well enough in them good periods, and we conceded goals in at very bad times of a game. Just before half-time was a kick in the teeth. Just after second half started, another kick in the teeth. And we had chances just after we got to 3-2. We had big chances and good momentum to get back into the game properly. Unfortunately, we didn't take them.
Now, Sayo, on the show, I had a Liverpool fan and a Manchester United fan yesterday, and I said a Manchester United defense without Harry Maguire might have problems against Sadio Mane, Mo Salah, and Roberto Firmino. And I was right. And of course, I forgot to even call Diogo Jota. And they did have problems without Harry Maguire.
Exactly. You know, one of the names United fans do not want to hear is Harry Maguire's name. And that is because he has a low profile, he's a captain, he's good, but they don't believe in him. And I think he's not being carried the way he's supposed to. Imagine how do you explain conceding 4 goals on a night you scored first, you conceded goals in quick successions, and in the last minute of the second half you conceded the same way you conceded in the last minutes of the first half. You know, it doesn't show progression. United have failed to give City a title push this season. They've stumbled when City have stumbled. They have not taken advantages of all this, and it just shows yesterday night also that United are not ready yet for any championship title yet. They're not ready.
Okay, now Pep Guardiola dedicated his side's latest Premier League triumph to Manchester City chairman Khaldoon Al-Mubarak on Thursday, May 13th, on the eve of his side's trip to face Newcastle United. Now, City won their 3rd Premier League title in 5 seasons under Guardiola, and their 5th in the last 10 with 3 games to spare in the campaign after second place Manchester United lost 2-1 at home to Leicester City on Tuesday, May 11th. Now, Guardiola described the side's celebrations after Leicester sealed the Premier League trophy to their already 4th straight league title won earlier in the season. Guardiola also expressed his appreciation at receiving messages congratulating him from Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp and Everton boss Carlo Ancelotti before revealing that midfielder Kevin De Bruyne will miss Newcastle's tie with a muscle injury.
That is the big difference. What I found, I had the feeling sometimes in other clubs and I would not say because I've always been supportive in Barcelona and in Bayern Munich, but I had the feeling that the manager always been supportive when you have success. And I cannot forget now my first season here, where I didn't win anything, the behavior of my chairman. And I cannot forget the big disappointment personally against Lyon, the support I had from my chairman. And that's why it's part of our success. It's absolutely dedicated to him, to support me, like me support my backroom staff because I support them. and of course the players to continue to do it. Saying that, now we have 3 weeks ahead of us to prepare a dream come true to play a final Champions League. And the show must go on next season. So we're going to try to be strong next season. The target next season will be this one, to be close up there. But every season I had the feeling is more difficult. Every season I had the feeling that comparing the first year when I arrived, the opponents are stronger, the managers are stronger, and every year United is stronger. Liverpool will be back like previous seasons because they have unlucky that many injuries in the same position. Chelsea is not necessary to tell what is going to be. Look, Leicester, like every say, no, Leicester in every season, last season always is there. And new outcomers, Arsenal, they trust with Mikel because I know perfectly Mikel. They will make a step forward next season. So many clubs. So that's why look at West Ham, how good they played this season. Unfortunately, maybe they are not playing or winning last games because Declan Rice is so important for them, and Antonio was injured too. So many clubs. That's why it's a massive achievement this season due to the massive contenders that we had. More than delight. So a lot of effort behind, and I have to admit it. So 19 December until 7 or 8 of March, in this period, we won all the games in all competitions. When we achieve this, you have to win the Premier League.
Well, Sayo, I think what Guardiola has proven to the world is that he's not only a sharp coach on the field of play, he's also sharp with them actually relating with people. Sharp guy. Realize that if he has to win the league again next season, he must buy new players. So naturally, he dedicates the trophy to Khalduna Mubarak, the owner of Man City. Of course, if he psychs his guy up small, the guy will want to spend money next season.
Absolutely. That is the best way to go after winning a trophy. You do not sit down on your laurels, but rather you proceed, you go further to...
By psyching your chairman, making it feel important, so that he can play.
No.
Yeah.
But I feel City has supported Guardiola very much. Remember, Guardiola was saying in that interview now that he was supported even when things were not going on well for him, and that's just the way to go. You know, when things are not going on well, you support him. Even when things are going on well, you still support him. So that is exactly what you get. You become champions, and City have like, you know, gotten a template for success. Look at since when their new owners came in, they've been successful from that time on up to this moment. And like Guardiola said, the show continues next season.
Now, Guardiola is not the only person this morning who is actually psyching his chairman up. Leicester City manager Brendan Rodgers said lifting their first FA Cup on Saturday, May 15th, will be a fitting tribute to the club's late chairman, Vichai, and his family. Now, the Thai-led consortium, Asian Football Investments, took over Leicester in 2010, and under the family and Midlands club was transformed as the return to the Premier League in 2014, before memorably claiming the title in 2015-2016. Leicester chairman Aliawat, nicknamed Top, took over, succeeded Vichai, who was killed along with 4 other passengers when his helicopter crashed outside the King Power Stadium in October 2018. Now, heading into their first FA Cup final in 52 years, Leicester are sweating over the availability of experienced defender Johnny Evans, who was missed the last 2 games with a heel injury. Leicester have lost 4 FA Cup finals.
I'd love to win it for Convicia and his family. I think his spirit and presence will be there with us on the day, and just having Top over again this week has really magnified the why. One of the reasons I came to here was because of them and the cause of which Leicester City has. So yeah, of course, I'd love to do it for the players. I'd love to do it for the supporters. But if I had to pin one, it would be for Top and his family, and that would be truly special. You know, it's our focus has been a lot of the last few weeks on the games that we've had to play. But as soon as the Manchester United game was over, it's a really, really special game look forward to. As you say, we've all grown up with it, and in particular, British coaches, we've watched it all through our lives, the build up to all these games. So to be able to lead Leicester City out in the first time in over 50 odd years in a final, it'll be a real privilege for me. And yeah, I'm so excited, looking forward to it. And these weeks, you've always got to stay calm. We've always tried to ensure the preparation for every game is huge. But of course, this is a game where you can create an incredible legacy, and you write your own story in these games, and that's hopefully what we can do. Yeah, well, we'll give him another day. He's progressed really well in this last 24 hours. So outside today, and yeah, he looked very good. We'll see what the reaction is after that, and then we'll make a final decision on that tomorrow. But yeah, we're really hopeful.
Big call, isn't it? I'd imagine your medical guys will speak to you, Johnny will speak to you, you'll pull on your experience as well. But ultimately, what does it come down to?
It's just a discussion between myself and Johnny. Ultimately, you've always got to speak with the players. And Johnny, I know, is a warrior, so I know if there's any which way that he can play, and even if he's not 100%, he'll be out there. But I also have to balance that off with, it's a huge game. It's going to be a physical game, so we need physicality in the team, good physicality, good running ability, and if that's hindered in any way, then it may make it difficult for him. But like I say, we get 24 hours, so we'll see how he goes.
Now, Sayo, don't let's mince words this morning. Considering present form, Leicester are the underdogs tomorrow against Chelsea, no doubt. But can Leicester pull a stunt, a surprise, against Chelsea tomorrow?
That is why the game starts goalless, you understand? And every team starts a game with 11 players. I think Leicester can pull up a surprise. It's going to be an emotional match tomorrow. They want to pay a tribute to their former chairman, and I think they can do it. Yes, they have good players. They have Vardy, they have senior man, they have Ndidi, they have Albrighton, Telemann. No, the list is endless. Even their goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel, good players.
The question everybody's asking now is, Thomas Tuchel, is there a possibility that, considering that he has the Champions League on May 29th, he might not come out full blast against Leicester?
I want to agree with that, because looking at what Chelsea have on ground now, they might consider this game as a disturbance to the final. They might consider it as a slight distraction, and they might want to focus. But also, Chelsea might see this as a bird in hand. They might want to take this trophy seriously in case they lose the final of the Champions League. So it can go either way, but I feel Leicester have more to lose here than Chelsea, because Chelsea are in 2 finals, Leicester are in this only final this season, and they don't know when next they are going to be in another final. So I think the victory against United sets a template for them. They should be able to beat Chelsea. I feel it's going to be tough, but Leicester should win.
Okay, now, those of you who have followed Super Eagles for a while, you would know Sonny Aluko, UK-based Nigerian footballer who came to play for the Super Eagles. Now, his sister played for the women's team, the English women's team. She never came for the Falcons, and of course, we called her a point. She never came. And she used to be in the team with Casey Stone. Now, Casey Stone was the coach of the Manchester United female team. Now, she's resigned from that position, and Eniola is actually surprised. Now, Eniola tips Casey Stone to be challenged by whatever role she takes after United's departure. Now, Eniola expressed her surprise at the news. Her former teammate Casey Stone is stepping down as Man United women head coach. Now, United announced on Wednesday that Stone is stepping down at the end of the season from the role she held since 2018, when the women's team launched as a professional outfit.
Surprised, to be honest. I was surprised because I think Casey's done an incredible job establishing Manchester United as a contender really for the league title, only really 3 years after their inception, which, I know as Aston Villa sporting director, in our first year, the first year was just to stay in the league, let alone, and in 2 years' time, I think to say we'd be challenging for the league, that's quite a big ask. So what Casey has done for Manchester United, I think, has been massive. She's really brought her winning experience and her pedigree to that job. It's disappointing to read that, she hasn't been happy with some of the things behind the scenes, which again, I think in women's football, we really need to sort out in terms of, if you're a big club, you've got to do it properly, and do it how you would do it in the men's game. So it's a surprise, but, I'm not surprised that she's been linked with many big names around the world, and, she'll continue to rise, and, wishing her all the best. I think I would bet on her going for a job that.
Before I come to you now, Sayo, now a petition to cancel the Tokyo Olympics with more than 352,000 signatures was submitted to the city's governor on Friday, with its organizer urging officials to prioritize life. The online petition titled "Cancel the Tokyo Olympics to Protect Our Lives" was launched earlier this month by Kenji Usomiya, a lawyer and former candidate for Tokyo governor. Now, polls consistently show a majority of Japanese oppose holding the games this year, favoring either a further delay or cancellation due to the coronavirus pandemic. He called on Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike to ask the International Olympic Committee (IOC) to cancel the games. The petition is being sent to the IOC and International Paralympic Committee, as well as local organizers and the national government. It was submitted as Japan's battles a fourth wave of virus infections, with Tokyo and 5 other prefectures under a state of emergency. But opposition shows no sign of dwindling, and several top Japanese sports stars have expressed concerns in recent days, including tennis champion Naomi Osaka and Masters winner Hideki Matsuyama. Now, Sayo, this is a country taking things seriously. They are taking COVID seriously. There's a bigger rise in COVID-19 in Japan and China. And there is a petition that says, listen, stop the Olympic Games totally. It protects our lives. There's much more in life than money.
Absolutely. If the whole of Europe has taken this stand against COVID-19 last year, it wouldn't have spread as far as it has. The Champions League game, I think Napoli against Valencia, I can't remember now, that was actually what brought COVID-19 into all over Europe. So now Kenji has been able to see, or can I say, he is a fast learner, and he has been able to learn that COVID-19 spreads rapidly when you have good number of people in a particular place. So it's a good one. I feel it's a step in the right direction. Yes, the lives and properties should be first in terms of our concern, not just the sports or the money.
Okay. Now, Kenyan coach Bernard Ouma keeps a watchful eye on box orders as a group of elite runners train at a school track in capital Nairobi. Now, among them is the world's fastest man in the 1,500 meters, Timothy Cheruiyot. Now, Cheruiyot was one of the top contenders for an Olympic gold in Japan after an impressive 2019 when he won the world title in Doha. Well, then the games was postponed amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Now the 3-time Diamond League champion being forced to adjust, he sometimes has to train alone rather than his traditional team environments. This makes the mental aspect of the sport even more important. Ouma said he has pared down the intensity of Cheruiyot's training, putting more emphasis on the process. Their routine is simple: train at the track or running on a track in Nairobi's National Park, home to both lions, hyenas, and rhinos. Now, Cheruiyot still managed to compete in some races last year, despite the pandemic.
You've seen how we were training. I said, I'm not interested in time, I just want to see effort. Why am I saying that? Because when you start putting time, meaning you've engaged them adequately previously, and now you're targeting where you are. No, you get that out. I just want to see effort. Show me how you can run. Last year was bad. This year, I don't think it's going to be as worse as last year was, but we are prepared for any eventuality. We live together, all of us, so that means the bubble is working for us, and we try to keep up to the adherence of the COVID protocol as stipulated by the various organs. This is the Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization. That's why you see most of the time we on our mask, ensuring that we travel in designated transport system to training, and we've zeroed our training within our vicinity. This is the track and into the national park. Luckily, the animals don't have COVID, so that's what we interact with most of the time.
When we go to races, we normally go and there and train, but now you are going there and stay in the room. It's a bit challenging. In 2016, I missed Rio because I was number 4 in trials. So I need to make a Kenya team. So we're having a trial.
Now, Sayo, quickly before you go on the show, Cheruiyot has been in practically every Lagos City marathon in Lagos. Nigerians complain, we are not winning it. It's all these guys that come and win it. He's already training for the Olympics now, despite the COVID pandemic around the world. He's training in a park where it's home to hyenas, rhinos, and tigers in a cage there, and he's training every day. Why won't they win these long-distance races?
That was how I wanted to start also. Why won't he win? You know, why won't he win? Someone who in spite of the pandemic, still continues to train. In fact, he trains much more harder this time because he trains with animals, hyenas, rhinos, tigers, and the likes. That shows you they are serious. That shows you they know what they want. And that is why I'm not surprised. They make name in terms of marathon, in terms of long distance racing. They know what they want, and then they go for it.
Okay, Sayo, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wale. The pleasure is mine.
That's all we can take on the show today. Plus Sports and PlusTvAfrica on a Friday. The weekend is here and rest is near. Join us on Monday, same time, same station on Plus Sports on PlusTvAfrica. My name is Wale Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.